Can we still hear each other? I heard you then, mate. I was just my mic was muted. Oh well, this is quite good. So you still got like a little green room before it starts.
Yeah, I kind of want it this time. I don't know if it's if he took himself
You know what we could? We could play like racist joke. Roulette.
no, just
We can still hear you guys.
oh,
No, we can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Terrestrial Material. I am your host, Ice Cream Shots. This is episode 11, where we are going to be feeding our alien addiction. We do have some really great guests, people that I've watched their channels for a good long time now, and I really wanted to talk to them and get their opinion on what's been going on in ufology. Just have a really good ufology round table, see where everybody stands, because boy, oh boy, it's been quite the year. And I kind of feel like we're going to be getting to more of these shows starting up, you know, giving everybody's thoughts on everything that's been going on all year. So we wanted to maybe get ahead of the pack a little bit. But we have Alien Addict. If you don't know them, of course, you must be under a rock somewhere. So we want you to get out from under that rock, go into the description, click the link, give them a sub, like, share their show. They have really incredible, fun content. They have great opinions. So make sure to give them a look. And then we also have an extra little guest, not little, I guess, but I mean, just like an addition, like a nice little addition. We have Nick from the Cosmic Twilight, and his channel is also linked in the description. Please do yourself a favor and go look at his channel. He's looking at Nazi UFOs and just the history of all of that. And I just don't see a lot of people doing that. So his channel is getting started. All the support he can get, I can tell you, you won't be disappointed in that whatsoever. So without further ado, intros out of the way, let's get to our boys and our guests here. What's going on, gentlemen?
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Really excited to have everybody here.
You make me nervous, like, because you meant the amount of times you said ufology in that intro, and like Lee's the ufology guy. He's the one that knows everything when it comes to ufology. Like, he's your boy, not
Look,
me.
We are what? How many seconds into the show and you've already tried to throw me under the bus?
How many times do you throw me under the bus? Bush?
Well, I mean, it's not hard.
No, I mean, I just, you guys are kind of a collective. And I guess I should put it this way. Everything that I've seen, Nick, when I first started seeing you, Nick, it was on Alien Addict. And I kind of just felt like you were part of the crew. And then when I started putting the show together today and putting the description together, I thought, yeah, but he's got his own thing. I'd want to mention that. So I don't want to leave that out. But I don't want everyone to think that you're not a part of Alien Addict, because you seem like you are a section of it, right?
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a long way coming, isn't it? I think it's been a couple of months now since I've been on. I've been counting the episodes. I think it's been over 10 episodes now. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure, man, honestly, coming out and talking about ufology and building the confidence and speaking to Ollie, Lee, and Dave, and you guys as well. Absolutely fantastic. But I appreciate the compliment, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal to have her here. Oh, go ahead, Ollie. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, well, that's it, Nick. Lee. Nick was doing gardening videos along with UFO videos and having a fucking amazing mind when it comes to this subject, and that's what me and Lee do. We find people that we like and that we think we could have a beer with in the pub.
Mhm.
Or whatever, we could just go out and have a cup of tea with that person. That's the people that we bring on Alien Addict. And the reason why Nick has been on so many shows is because we like Nick. The reason why you, Ice Cream, have been on quite a few shows with me with us on a Friday is because I like you.
So what Ollie's
If-
trying to say is, if you've only been on Alien Addict once, Ollie doesn't like you.
Well, he might try to steal me at some point. What do you think about that?
That's not 100% true, because there's some guests that I've looked back on and I thought, God, I'd like to have that guest on again. Why have we not had that guest? Why have we not had that guest on again? But
And then you go,
there-
oh
there
yeah,
are-
I fucking hate them.
No, but you're right, Lee. There are some that I'm like, yeah, and it's usually you that tells me we're not having them on again.
Yeah.
So what is this, a Pinky in the Brain situation or what? Whose brain?
Absolutely.
No, Dave's
Apart from
the
I have
brain.
to be Pinky and the brain most of the time.
What are we gonna do tonight, Pinky? Try to take over take over ufology, right? Well, I mean, I guess a good. Oh, go ahead, Ali. Sorry.
No. Carry on.
Okay, I was gonna say I think a good place to start, because, like I said, I tried to keep the topic as wide open as possible. I really want this to be everybody's on a couch discussion. We're hearing a lot of people right now, and I know, Lee, you've heard you talk about this before. We feel something is coming. That all this recent news and ufology, it's all building to some kind of conclusion, whether it's near or far, something. What is that? I mean, we can start with you, Lee. I mean, what are you feeling?
I mean, well, personally, I think I don't know what the reason for it is, but I do think we're going to get something from it. There will be a payoff to this, because it's all a bit WWE at the minute, isn't it? We're in this slow build phase of things, and the one thing that I think connects all the things that are tying like the current like disclosure thing up is they're all like questionable, like the Lazar thing's questionable, the like the alien interview sort of had this takeoff, and then that's questionable. There's been throwbacks to Roswell, and I personally think next year that's going to be the thing. Like Roswell will be the hook to get like the normies that don't pay any attention to this stuff in, because everybody knows what Roswell is.
It's true.
So sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say that's true. I mean, I've heard you mention that before. I mean, you were, I guess, predicting. Is that a good way to put it, Lee? That we're gonna get a drop next year? You thinking, like maybe videos, photos, all of it?
I think
about
so.
Roswell?
I think we'll get what we would have wanted from Roswell like 10 years ago. I think we'll get that next year. I don't trust the reasons for it, but I think we'll get it. And if nothing else, it's going to be great content. I just worry that there's so many things. It's like this scattergun thing at the minute to take people's attentions up on various different levels, and I worry that there's some sort of other like deeper conspiracy going on, that this is just there to keep our brains occupied with.
Yeah, I could understand that. What do you think, Ali? What do you think about the recent everything? Do you feel that there's something coming?
So there's something that me and Lee have. I thought Lee would say that then, but we've said this so many times in Alien now, that there seems to be a there seems to be a mission to make people's mum and dad, people's girlfriends, people's boyfriends, people's cousins, brothers, whatever, sisters, believe in aliens, believe in something that's going on in the world right now. And Alien Addict as a channel is very it's clueless, and it doesn't pretend to be knowledgeable when it comes to ufology. But one thing that it is It's not naive. It's not naive. We see that there is this thing that's going on right now. I don't think's just a grift. I don't think there's enough money in it to be just a grift.
There's not enough money in it for the people that are involved in it. Like
Yeah.
when you get the people like the Lizandos of the world, when you get these like high-ranking military people coming out, they're already earning good money. You know, the UFO circuit money isn't going to change their life. You know, you're not going to get the Grushes of the world like standing on stage talking at like the next UFO conference, because there's no point in him doing that. So there has to be another reason for it. So that then you have to work out is it pure altruism? And that seems a bit weird, because it would be strange to me if he suddenly just had this like epiphany of, I have to be the person that brings this information out to the public. Or is the military guy still working in operation?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Nick, does anything stand out to you for what either Ali or Leah said? I mean, do you resonate with that at all?
No, I discredit both of them personally. Their opinions on
bastard.
this. I know. I'm become a bit skeptic now. I'm not saying I know ufology. I've been in the field long enough to know the cycle goes around in cycles. Yes,
Lee,
we
we're not
have
having Nick on ever again.
No, he
Yeah,
hates
that's
him.
it. Bye. See you later. But what's going to happen is we're going to have a fade off. Jeremy Corbell's going to bring his flare footage out, and then it's going to be the cycle again. And unless we get documents that prove that Roswell is, for instance, if we go with Roswell in that case, the documents to prove that it was an alien crash, it's not going to happen. Because Lee, you mentioned about the documents coming out next year. A lot of it's coming from Project Blue Book, which I said many times is on the show that it's more or less like a disinformation campaign to really say it's like swamp gas, unidentified, you know, it's like bloody goose or geese in the air and all that sort of stuff. So it's not really going to prove anything in terms of Roswell being extraterrestrial. But yeah, we're just going around in cycles, man. I don't think we're going to get any proof whatsoever.
I think the cycles thing is it's kind of smashed by the hearings. The idea, I think people have taken the fact that there was hearings on this stuff far too easily. That's bonkers. Like, it's mental that happened. And I keep saying as well, as far as like the whistleblower thing, I know people keep saying that, oh well, there's new things in place to protect whistleblowers. But if you Google history of whistleblowers, it doesn't work out pretty well for the whistleblowers. But yet this one's made it all the way to Congress. This one's going to get another hearing in Congress about it. There has to be a reason for this. There has to be.
Well, Ali mentioned
Apparently, we're going to get another one. I mean, did you watch Bird Shit the other day on Sean Ryan?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Right. So like I've listened to both of the episodes because there's two parts of it on Spotify over 2 days. And like Bird Shit's saying we're going to get one before the end of the year, and I can't see that happening. I don't know how they're going to get that out before. That's a lot of planning before the end of the year, but I mean, I'll take it. It's content before the end of the year. You normally go through a dry patch when it comes to Christmas. So come on, Mr. Bird Shit.
Yeah, I mean, the holidays, it seems like that would get really busy. I agree. I would assume that they would want to plan that something for like first quarter next year or maybe a little bit second quarter, maybe kind of what they did.
Did you
with
listen
the
to Ice Cream? Did you
Oh, yeah.
hear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard.
What do you think to Sean Ryan?
Sean, you know, I just started kind of watching him. He seems like a smart guy for sure. He's got a lot of really good production value, which I think goes a long way. I know you guys were kind of asking, where does Sean Ryan come from? You know, he's got this big push that's coming. But I still think
Mm.
the production value on YouTube, it isn't everything, but if you have really good production value and you're getting really good guests on a topic that's popular, I think it's
Mhm.
really easy if the algorithm likes you at all to shove you up there and get a lot of views at that point. Because I mean, if that production quality looks like his show looks great, you
Yeah.
kind of think, okay, he's intelligent, he's a smart guy, he must be successful. He's got to have all the answers. So we want to listen to this guy. So I think it's mostly part of something like that. But I heard about the next
Right. So
hearing.
you're telling me that I get somebody that we get somebody in a room like live is going to explode overnight.
No, I don't know about exploding overnight. I don't know about the actual trajectory of his channel, but I'm saying that I mean, things can go viral and move quickly. And I think if you have like the right pieces in place for that to happen, it
Mhm.
seems like it's possible for sure. I
Mm.
mean, the show is very easily watchable. The editing is very
Yeah,
good.
it's
You know,
beautiful. Yeah.
it's watchable show. You know, you turn it on, you don't want to turn it off after 30 seconds. He doesn't look like a crazy person. He's got good credentials. He was a Navy SEAL, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yes.
even more trustworthy. He's got connections to get the good hosts or get the good guests. I think it's possible, man. But those are also people that could be influenced from the outside, without a doubt. But I heard about the hearings, the next one coming prior to that. I seen a link on Twitter where there was a reporter. I can't remember his name, but Burchett had said that probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago that they were going to do another one. They just weren't going to get the select committee that they wanted. But I think what you mentioned yesterday, Ali, which I thought was interesting too, is you kind of felt like there was this drip disclosure process that's possibly happening. I think that ties in, Lee, with what you're saying, that it's not always a cycle. You know, we get something new like a hearing that could kind of prove that they're dripping that down a little bit more, right?
Hmm. I think so. Um, it, for me, it was wild to see like the YouTubers that, because I mean, even like Alien Addict, like now I know it's a channel that talks about ufology, but I don't, I'm talking for Ollie here, sorry. I don't consider us in the same sort of vein as the other things, because we're more like commentators, I think, more than people that like I don't
I agree.
pretend to
I
be, I don't,
concur.
yeah, I don't pretend to be a researcher or anything like that. I'm just interested in those things. If I can speak to other people that are interested in them and that know more about it than I do, that's great.
You're not a researcher. Goofon's telling us that we are not researchers.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, well, neither's he. He watches YouTube videos like the rest of us.
Come on, he's done 20 years in the field behind a camera.
So what? Yeah, no one even knows what that means. Be what I was in the field. What? Oh, crazy.
He's in the field,
Uh,
motherfucker.
but I you fucking derailed me here now.
That was on
Well, I mean, we're
purpose.
talking about, I mean, you know, all love, you know, I mean, as far as the drip disclosure process, I mean, that's kind of what you're alluding to with saying that it's
Mhm.
not just a cycle. I mean, there has been a break in the
Sorry.
cycle, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was confused at the way that the other YouTubers reacted to the hearings, like to what to for that for something like that to happen, and for these people that have made it their lives to come on a camera and do live streams and make videos about this stuff and just sit there and say, "Oh, this is nothing. This doesn't mean anything. This isn't important." I find that really weird. And yeah, it's maybe that's more of what sorry, maybe what we need more is, though. I know we had a brief chat before we came on here on air about the there needs to be more of a bridging of divides when it comes to the people on YouTube that are doing this stuff, you know, and it's the maybe some like petty arguments need to be put aside, because if that's all that's going to happen, if something as massive as those hearings are going to be, I mean, regardless of what area you come from, like there'll be some people over there that, I mean, like personally, I don't believe in like spacemen. You know, I think the lights are things. I think there is 100% things going on. I do not believe that things are coming from billions of light years away from a different planet and coming to visit us. I just don't believe that. I don't see any evidence for it. Um But that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what I believe, and we can all believe something different. But we should all be able to come together and go, at least it's interesting. And that didn't seem to happen for what the most like the most monumental thing to happen in ufology ever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree a degree. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, these other channels, though, most of them. And I'm not here to name names and start wars or whatever, but like I get they're let down. Everyone's so let down. Everyone's just so used to, hearing the next thing is coming. I mean, look at Elizondo is now tweeting that. I don't know if you guys seen that, but he's saying, yeah, it's at either the start of next year, 2024, or mid 2024. Stay tuned.
Today?
I think it was yesterday. And so now he's
missed that.
Yeah, but so he's saying that there's all these new things. I mean, it's the carrot and the stick feeling that we keep getting. I mean, because at the end of the day, I would like Lou and all these people to be right. I would like Grush to have the keys to the kingdom. I would love all those things, but the problem is they haven't proven us that we have that yet. And I think the more and more we keep getting let down, our hearts are broken over time, even when, it's like kind of like the boy that cried wolf. When the wolf finally shows and you have an opportunity, we're still just going to go ahead and turn our backs to it. But I don't blame people for that, really. I wish they would maybe give it some more thought, but I don't know. I can't really blame them, Lee. What do you think?
The story of the boy that cried wolf is so familiar in this field. Is that if you put the story, the boy that cried wolf, in with UFOs, there's so many stories that just resonate with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting you said that.
Well, it just seems to be what's going on. It's every time, but that's the part where ufology just keeps dropping the ball. I mean, when we get an opportunity to get to Congress, and it is a big deal, whether or not you think we were going to get anything out of it, I'd agree with you, Lee. It was a big moment, but we can't go there with more stories. And I can only tell you later. Even Congress is going to get to the point where they want to get out of it, because a lot of those people, they don't even believe in this topic. So the second that they feel fooled at all, they're going to turn their backs, and it's going to make it hard to get like a select committee and get Kevin McCarthy to get involved with something like that and get people behind it. And it's a big issue. And we need to, at some point, get some firsthand evidence in there to wake people up to, hey, we got to start paying attention. The bullshit's over now. Let's take a look, But
you see that happening though?
I mean, not from the government. No, in my opinion, the DOD they're still not interested. I think that there is a war overall in the DOD. I think that there are people that want to have this secret out. I think there's people in even places like Boeing or EG&G, any of these areas, they have people that want to talk about it. But I think that the resounding feeling in those areas is still overwhelming. No, they're either not ready, or they think it's demons or something. And so every time we get close, it's an outnumbered battle for the truth, and they're going to keep shutting it down. For me, I think we need a whistleblower that's completely separate from everyone else. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at Danny Sheehan the other night, kind of let out on a live stream, when we were talking about this yesterday, Ali, that when Elizondo's security clearance came into question after the 2017 videos came out, that the man who actually reviewed his clearance was none other than David Grush. And that to me is just like, God, every time these guys are linked, and I start to say to myself, well, that must be who Grush is talking to. And if he's talking to Elizondo and getting information, I bet your boots there, Bill Nelson, he's probably talking to Eric Davis, Hal Puthoff, the whole crew. And there could be more. But we know where some of this is starting to come from, because the cracks in the wall are starting to leak water, and we're learning more and more as time goes on.
What I find amazing is...
No, go on.
Sorry, go ahead, mate.
No. Absolutely.
I was going to say, yeah, when it comes to... It's not going to happen. Look at the JFK files. They now class...
Oh, we're losing Nick a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it'll probably sort itself out as we go. Yeah, it probably will.
All right, cool. I was going to say, they can't release the JFK files, but they're willing to release UFO documents.
Yeah.
I find that very suspicious, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I also think the JFK files are a good example of that they can keep a secret. You know, this has been a secret for 80 or 90 years. JFK's assassination, that hasn't been that much longer, guys. What is it, 60 years plus?
Yeah.
I think it's possible to do that. So, and I know Grush made some mentions of that, hey, you know, we can't keep secrets, and even the most mundane things that have never made it out. I agree with him. I think that there is, you know, potential there. I don't think he's a waste of time, but at the same time, I don't know if he should have been the very first guy that they pulled into Congress. I think the very first guy should have been old Bobby Lazar, right out in front, and Corbell and them should have brought him in there, especially if they want to sit front row and get the fame. Well, bring the first hand guy, bring the 115. Don't waste our time anymore. You know what I mean?
I mean, the 115. That in itself, that's been that's been one of these things that we've questioned for such a long time, and I honestly think right now, when you look at that, and you look at the Bob Lazar situation, and the guy's in the know. He's not like I think if you put Bob Lazar in front of what was the fucking hashtag we spun for a while with
Oh, for him and Brett Weinstein.
yeah, I don't think Lazar's in Weinstein's court when it comes to intelligence. However, I do think the guy's very intelligent.
I don't think he'd be noticeably out of his place. And don't forget they both exist.
Sorry, Lee, I missed that last week. What did you say?
I said I don't think he would be particularly out of his place in a conversation with Brett Weinstein. And the other thing to remember is, right, Brett Weinstein's an evolutionary biologist, I think.
Yes,
isn't he? Yeah.
He is.
So they're both in very different fields as well.
So what you're saying there? Do you think?
I think the way Bob operates, and this is and I still don't know where I fall on the Bob Lazar story. But either way, I think the way he operates, I think he would leave Brett Weinstein convinced by him.
Why did you not tell me this stuff like on the show?
Because you've never asked me before.
But we're a team. Like,
yeah, but you never. you can't ask a question that doesn't come up.
We've got Stu working on a Bob Lazar documentary. And you never told us this.
What? It doesn't really matter, does it?
I suppose not. But you think Bob Lazar will hold his ground?
Of course he would. He's a smart guy, and and Brett Weinstein is also like an incredibly engaging speaker. And there's some people you speak to that you can get into really in-depth conversations about stuff that you only have like a broad knowledge about. And if you try and speak about those things with other people, you don't fare as well. But there's some people that just by talking to them, and I don't know why this is. Maybe it's just they have a better way of communicating, or whether there is some sort of like shared consciousness. You know, we all get that thing when you're around people that you click with. You can generally get what you're trying to say out easier. I think Brett Weinstein is probably one of those people where he can kind of lift people up to his level. You see it all the time, because like this guy speaks to a lot of people on a lot of different podcasts and a lot of different things. I think they would have a great conversation together.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. It's interesting that you think he'd be able to hang. I guess I've never really thought of it that way. Like, could he really get in there?
Though. That really does, honestly. On like the thought that Bob could like fucking.
Well, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Is his story has like it's been critiqued. Don't get me wrong. Now everything gets critiqued, but his story has stood up since the 90s to today without being. I know there's been like lots of people, like it's alien scientists, for instance, which has done excellent fucking work on Bob
Yep.
Lazar, but nothing that like definitively just like blows out of the water. You know, because it always goes back to his education and stuff like that. You know, we can't find this, we can't find that. You go, well, of course, motherfucker, he worked in Area 51. You think let's
Let's not.
you think if you okay, Oliver. If you think they're not going to sort of doctor up like the past of people, things like that. There will be people out there doing shit you can't even imagine that don't even fucking exist anymore. You know, they're the people that are out there with 17 different names and 17 different passports that are floating around the world doing crazy James Bond shit. And we don't think that we can like alter somebody's past enough so they can stick them in a top secret facility.
See, this is the thing, Ice Cream, that people don't see between me, Lee, and Dave. That we behind the scenes we disagree on so many different things when it comes to this field, the paranormal. I want to say the paranormal, not ufology. I'm just going to say the paranormal. Bob Lazar, though, I will say right there, I'm kind of with Lee. I don't know. At one point, I was all about these people are debunking the shit out of this guy. But then I'm thinking, you know what I said last night when it comes to like Phil Schneider? It's fucking ridiculous. Phil Schneider's ridiculous. When you look at that guy's absolute.
It's a crazy story. Yeah, it's a crazy story.
But it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous story.
Yeah.
It's like it is a comic book story. But I do think that somebody got that guy to do that. I don't think he did it. The fact that guy died 1 year after. But that's the thing, Lee. Bob Lazar's still alive.
I mean, can we just say that it's not like a year before Schneider died. It's not like he was a fucking athlete. You know?
He wasn't an athlete, no, but he did say that he said some crazy motherfucking things.
He slept on top of a bed of uranium, you know? I mean, that's probably going to damage your health a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not Alien Addict say this is not the channel saying that I believe Phil Schneider. Watch last night's show.
Yeah.
I don't believe Phil Schneider. It's deeper than that. Sorry, Lee, go on.
I'm just going to say that it's perfectly believable that guy died a year after like he'd done anything. You know, I don't think there's any deep conspiracy there. The thing
he strangled himself with his own fucking what was it?
Catheter cord, right? Catheter, yeah.
Catheter cord.
Yeah, we've all seen what's it called? Final Destination. Shit happens.
So why do you guys think Bob's alive then? I mean, if you feel like he really came out, do you feel he was used? I mean, I know Grant Cameron really feels that. He feels that Bob was put out there to move some of the story forward, and you know, they kind of let him be. I mean, you think it's because he said so much that
what
it's
if
dangerous?
we've always been part of this disclosure, like this disclosure that's going on right now? What if this started, for instance, and it could have started well before that? What if this started at Roswell? You know, we constantly talk about the like unfolding plots and how we can't trust governments and things, and the idea that like presidents aren't elected, they're selected, that type of thing. What if this is we've always supposed to be here? You know, we were Linda Moulton Howe was talked about the last. Was it Linda Moulton Howe talked about the last card? Wasn't was it? Who was
Oh, I can't remember her
Rosen.
name. Yeah.
Yes.
Carol fucking Carol.
Is it Rosen? Rosen?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is or not. I can't remember her name, but she talked about Werner
Rosen, yeah.
Yeah, Werner von Braun. She was like his assistant or something.
The last card.
And yeah, we've talked about this stuff in conspiracy theories since the 90s. The idea that there'd be some sort of like fake alien invasion. I mean, I remember back in the good old days of YouTube, coming up to 2012, there was so many documentaries about how 2012 was going to be the year of the fake alien invasion, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching every single one of them.
I'm the same. Yeah, I remember.
Like, just get it directly into my veins, not even through my eyeballs, put it into my veins. But yeah, I don't. If we're willing to accept that non-human intelligence are flying craft over our heads, then surely it's not a huge leap to go. Maybe they're not necessarily flying over our heads, but they are influencing us, like socio-politically. And if this is the case, and they are a different species to us, they might have different lifespans, they might perceive time differently, they might see time differently. You know, it's like we can only see in the present, for instance, and we can remember the past. They might be able to move freely around any of it. And like just the idea, let's say the average human lifespan for a male is 75 years of age, isn't it? I think. The just stick a zero behind that, and now I make imagine a species which 750 years is the average lifespan. That makes a decade so much smaller because you haven't only got 7 of them; you've got 700 of them. Or 70 of them. Yeah, 700 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
like
the
it's like Elon Musk. You know, if we could get him to be 750 years old, where does that go? Where does SpaceX go? Where does NASA go? I mean, that's I guess a good point when we bring up Werner von Braun. I mean, where do you feel that NASA's role is in all of this right now? I mean, is Bill Nelson is he compromised? I mean, are we going to get something from NASA? What do you guys think? And you guys can go around the clock here. What you think?
I've got issues with NASA. Like I'm a we didn't land on the moon guy. I know some people are going to get very upset with that. I find it really weird now. More people seem to believe that we landed on the moon now than I think ever have done, which is really crazy.
I
You say
agree.
more
I agree.
or less?
More. Sorry, Ice Cream, what was that?
No, I agree with you. It's saying that it's weird that more people think that we did.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it's. I noticed it's. There's a lot of Americans think we landed on the moon now, or more Americans that think we landed on the moon now, and I think it might be some patriotism to desperately cling on to. You know, when everything's a bit shaky. So the anything patriotic, and that's not a bad thing, but I think that could be it.
Well, I was gonna say what's weird to me is that look at the slogan for the moon. They're saying we go. Why aren't you saying we go back?
Yeah.
Why is that? And why is no one questioning? That was the weirdest part of this whole thing is that we go. It's like, I thought you've been there before. What's going on?
Has anybody watched the Apple TV series? And I can't remember the name of it, but it's about going to the moon, and it's the alternate reality that we carried on going back, and that is it's an amazing series for a start, but that is what it should be right now. If you look at that series, that is so realistic to what it actually should, to the progression that it should have happened. It's crazy.
Well, let's go all the way around let's go all the way around. Nick, do you believe we went to the moon?
Oh man, bloody hell! I'm a bloody flip flopper, man. I'm a flip flopper. I don't know. I'm one of those people now that I just take a step back and I look at the chaos and I'm thinking, right, I can't make my mind up. Like, I know, but I don't trust NASA. Never a straight answer. I never NASOls, as I like to call them, NASOls, which is a good term to use. Yeah, when it comes to the NASA hearing last month, remember we had that conference hearing to give their evidence forward. They're mostly looking for biological life. They are not looking for extraterrestrials like we're looking at, like, alien greys and stuff like that. From the conference, they're saying they're looking for biological microscopic bacteria on other planets. That's fair. Okay, that's fine. But we are looking for alien spacecraft. That's what we're looking for. And NASA lately confirmed that they're not really looking into it, really. So I don't know why they're going into the whole UAP thing. I mean, what they're going to prove anyway? I mean, we've got satellites up there that has 24-hour feeds
Mm.
from the space station, and they've got loads of different footage from balls of light coming into the screens and all that. So they have the footage there. They have plenty of footage. The NASA, I mean, they've got telescopes in space, for Christ's sake. So
Mm.
I don't think they're telling us the truth when it comes to actual evidence, personally.
I obviously, like all podcasts, like all conspiracy theories, I try and do like a really really good dive on most things that like spot my interest, and I did like a real deep one on flat Earth, like for 3 years, and it was mainly because I wanted to know why, out of all the
This is
conspiracy
before
theories.
us.
Yeah, well before I was on that. Like I was
Why have you not told me that you've been involved? I would have wanted to know this, like in case I need to like dot any I's or take any T's. Or...
So many
I
secrets
think
revealed here between you
think
guys.
you are far too deep into flat Earth for me to speak to you about it. But and I was always interested why it's so stamped out of YouTube. Like more than there's only one conspiracy now which we can't talk about on this show because it would get your channel in trouble, and I think we kind of all know that. And it's pretty recent, yeah. That is the only thing which is as controlled as flat Earth stuff. I don't believe the Earth's flat, but what I believe is that in amongst the like this this amount of like evidence that the flat Earth community have put together, I think there's inconvenient facts in amongst that, and I think the inconvenient facts are the inconsistencies in NASA. I think the funny thing about all the flat Earth stuff is, in every single flat Earth documentary, you can't prove flat Earth in any of the really in any of the flat Earth documentaries. What you can in most of them, by the video feeds that they pull from the ISS and they pull from spacewalks and stuff, I think you can legitimately build a case to prove that some of the stuff we're seeing, if not all, from NASA, especially inside the ISS, is green screened. Now, that to me, regardless of everything else, you take everything else, take all the flat Earth stuff out, that gives me enough ammunition to go, well, if I can't trust NASA right now when they're displaying a few astronauts who, let's all be perfectly honest, and that's the thing that always gets me with people on the International Space Station, is that if you were going to go up and spend time weightless, so you think of the muscle wastage that goes on in weightless environments, and you've got all these guys that look like your dad's best friend down the pub, like that are sat in there. They're the guys. They're the ones we've sent to the International Space Station. They've all got love handles. They've all got little pop bellies. And you got right. No, you would the training regime you would have to go up. You would have to send international athletes up there to spend that amount of time in space without them getting into trouble and essentially not even being able to move when they come back to Earth.
Yeah, I mean, they just brought that one back. That guy was there for what, 370 some days? My God, I can't imagine, if you were sitting up there for a year staring into nothingness, not much sound. It's like, I couldn't imagine what that would do to even the psyche at that point. Not only would you need definitely a well put together body. I'm sure that's going to help, but your mind's got to be pretty sound for that. I can't imagine,
Yeah, well, interesting fact. A couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago now, maybe, I was quite sick and I got sepsis, and I was in hospital for 4 weeks on the ward. For 4 weeks, I was bedbound for 3.
You nearly died, man.
Yeah.
Septic will kill
pretty
you.
close.
Yeah.
And like when I left the hospital, I left the hospital on sticks. And that was because of muscle wastage, because I was lying down in bed so much. Because you don't realize just when you get up to like move around, and even if you're having like a lazy time, like say you don't work or something like that, you're still putting a certain amount of maintenance work into your body, just getting up to go to the toilet. There's a certain amount of movement you have to do. And I know there's people in the comments come out and say, "Oh, they've got exercise bikes on the International Space Station." I get it, but the top and bottom is these people are essentially not doing anything for months, but yet they are. I mean, I just find it very difficult to believe that they're the guys we're sending to do this.
It's interesting. What do you think,
Yeah.
Tyler? Do you have any kind of more input on that at all, or?
I mean, so I started the channel originally with looking at Mars stuff, alien anomalies on the moon, and being really fucking into it. Like, this is it, guys. Look at this on the moon that I found. This crater has something inside it that looks spectacular and possibly an alien base. And now I'm looking at this stuff and thinking, am I looking at, unfortunately I fall in Lee's group that is
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, yeah. It is what am I looking at? Am I looking at just a generated image on the screen? This Google Earth, this Google Moon that I'm moving about and zooming in on, is this real? I'm hoping that it is real because I mean I found some great stuff on Google Moon. I found some great stuff on Google Mars from these satellites that are supposed to be scientific satellites, but how do we actually know that is those planets?
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully when they go back, if they go back, if they went before, we get real good live streams of them being there. I mean, we were making phone calls years ago, right? So I mean, I really hope they've got the tech to where we can see what's going on when they're there, pick up the cameras, really move around, give us a real good image of what's going on. Because, yeah, I wonder. Yeah, go ahead,
Matt. The thing is, like, they should, like, to quote the show that I mentioned before, and it's on Apple TV. So if anybody's got an iPhone, you can get like 3 months free. Just binge watch the first series. There is an alternate. There's an alternate reality of the NASA project that works out. They go to the moon, they mine the moon, they build a fucking base on the moon, they go to Mars, they do all those things. That alternate reality looks like it should be what is now. It doesn't look like you should have gone fucking 7 times and said, fuck, that is too expensive.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think the life is in this galaxy at this point? Do you believe like structures on the moon, structures on Mars? Are we in any kind of agreement that there's probably life just closer than we think? And NASA maybe is covering it up,
I was just going to say, I just dropped a link to someone's channel called John Leonard Wilson. He has got a powerful telescope that he does daily shots of the moon, and he's got some really weird stuff, and you can tell that's genuine stuff. I'll just put it in the chat description. Sorry, in the chat link. So yeah, go check out his channel. It's called John Leonard Wilson. He's got some amazing stuff on there. So if you want it's like these dome structures inside these craters, absolutely incredible. But yeah, check out his channel. Some really weird stuff on there. But
that's moon footage.
Yeah, moon footage. Yeah. He's got like pretty good clear footage of the moon. So yeah, check out his channel. But yeah, there's definitely building structures on the moon. I've got a book here called NASA's Dark History, and it's got an ex NASA employee who used to deal with photographs, and he kept a lot of the photographs, and you can clearly see building structures on the moon. It's crazy, tower blocks.
How old's the book?
2010, something like that, I think.
Who wrote the book?
I can't remember. I can grab it now. It's called Dark History, NASA's mission Dark History of the Moon or something like that.
So Nick, when you looked at that book, did you is that a book that like stands out? Is it is like
Mm.
just photographs, or is that a
Yeah.
book that is
It's
has
genuine.
information that is
It's genuine photographs of the moon, like the old photographs from the 60s.
yeah, but with the photographs, is there like kind of anything to kind of give those photographs some boomph? You know what I mean?
Like numbers, like I remember Richard Hoagland, he was really, really
that's
big
what-
into it back in the day, and used to be able to get actually the giant photos. I don't think you can get them from
you
NASA
could see
anymore,
it-
though.
So you could see that it come from those cameras.
Correct. You can see the
Gotcha,
numbers.
yeah.
You can see that they're a numbered system to it. Correct. Yeah.
I haven't picked up the book in a number of years, but this guy appears to be legit. I can actually go grab it. I can actually see it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love it when Nick grabs a book.
He's got-
especially when you bring it up. He's got more books than I've on UFOs than I've ever seen with any person in this field.
It's because you can read,
Yeah.
Ollie.
So I can't read for shit. I rely on Google, mate. Honestly.
No,
yeah,
This is the thing. Worst thing. He told me, Nick told me last night he's dyslexic as shit. He gets Google to read it.
You hit him with the Draco Malfoy right there, Lee. I didn't know you could read.
He's got some like pretty fascinating photographs in there.
Oh, well, that looks interesting as shit. I've
Yeah.
never seen that one.
Yeah, let's see these.
But honestly, guys, get this book. It's called Dark Mission, The Secret History of NASA.
Nick, do you know
Trust me,
what,
get-
mate? I think you should stop showing your books, because I would say that most of these YouTubers have never seen the pieces of footage that you've got on these books, because
Yeah.
they're old, and
came
you should
out-
put them out on your own channel.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Alien-
we'll do it at some
and
point.
Alien Addict first.
Hey, don't steal my content, you know?
Boys, calm down. Yeah, this came out in 2009. But yeah, guys, honestly, there's so many photographs in here that is not really on the internet. Dark Mission. So yeah, grab that one.
I mean,
There you
it
go. I've got a
makes sense.
shitload of books. It's unbelievable.
It makes sense to me that there could be stuff there. I mean, I'm not completely sold on it. No matter how much I love to watch Lear show the pictures and show all the refineries and the big trucks, and I love hearing Richard Hoagland talk about the structures on the moon and Mars. It's possible, it's feasible. I'm not willing to throw it out, because if I was a civilization that was somewhere else in the galaxy, or maybe into a different galaxy, you would want a pit stop. I mean, I'm sure they got to take a pee every once in a while, you know, if they want to pee on the moon and and build a toilet there and hang out, and then build more, you know, structures and get food there, whatever. If you were going to do that, I'm on board that it's possible for sure. I mean, there's no real 100% evidence, in my opinion, that would rule any of that out, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I
In
mean,
terms of-
think of the just quickly
No,
before
no.
we go. If
Yeah,
you
go
think of
ahead.
the like the Graham Hancock thing, the idea of like these cataclysms that have happened time and time again, maybe we've already been a spacefaring civilization. Yeah, and I don't mean like Star Trek, but maybe we were beginning to send outposts out there. We were beginning to travel. We were beginning to put buildings. But just like when the like early settlers would go out somewhere, they would go and they would come back, and they would go out again. If we were at the point where we were starting to create like structures and starting to essentially become sustainable on other planets, and Earth went through one of these cataclysms at the same time, you would essentially maroon the like other like Earthlings on the moon and Mars. So it's at that point they're dead. At that point, you know, they would last a certain amount of time, and then without supplies being shipped to them, that could be why we're left with these things.
Yeah, timing is everything, right? You know, yeah. I mean, that's fascinating. I mean, so what do we think then? I mean, do we think it's aliens, interdimensional, crypto-terrestrial, demons, time travelers? I mean, what do we think this phenomena is? I mean, if it's able to travel around, if it's making moon bases, Mars bases, I mean, what do we really think this stuff is?
I'll let someone else go first.
That's a tough one.
would
I know.
say and I'm gonna be the. I'm gonna put the thing that I think is probably on most people's minds in this field, that demons may not be too far from the truth.
Oh, I should have
Like,
gone first.
what were you gonna say?
We'll
I think
edit
it's
we'll edit
demons.
this
I
all
think
out.
that-
We'll swap it around.
Yeah, I think it's demons. Carry on, Ali.
So the thing is, like if you look at Lee, if you look at Dave with Alien Addict, when we went out to the States, it was
Watch what you say, Ali.
we didn't know what to expect with Dave. Our really good friend that comes on the show, that we that supports the channel, that comes on, that's on every Sunday. We didn't know what to expect.
He could be a loose cannon. I could see that. I could see you could piss him off pretty quick, and
No,
he'd stand his
I don't.
ground. You know?
I don't think you can piss him off pretty quick.
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah.
I don't really think you can.
Oh, okay.
What?
Dave's not a loose cannon.
I'm
Well,
not gonna lie.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean like he could.
No.
You know?
I see how you can see that you could piss Dave off quickly.
Yeah.
You cannot piss Dave off pretty quick, and that's the concerning thing with Dave.
Yeah, I guess from what I've seen, I just feel like maybe not loose cannon. Maybe that's a bad way to put it in further thought. Maybe like you could get to his serious side much quicker than you would probably imagine, I guess is maybe a better way to put it. I mean, he seems like a fun guy, but you know.
Dave has a serious side, definitely. But I'm not gonna like. I've had a few drinks before. I said this before I came on the show. I had a few drinks before I came on the show. I'm not gonna say anything like right now, but Dave, when it comes to Alien Addict, what I'm saying right now is that guy. When I met Dave, I believed 100% in aliens. And then when I met Dave, and I spoke to that guy for so long now, as a friend, nothing more, nothing to do with the channel. That was it. Lee came along. We like weeks after. I've just worked out Lee and Dave working together. Shit. So Lee and Dave came along within weeks of each other.
Just so everyone knows, for the chat and stuff like that, me and Ollie had actually done shows about 1.5 to 2 years before Dave came along with Carry On, Ollie.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
This is the
It was
third.
fun.
This is the third thing he's kept from you now on the show so far. I'm keeping a count.
Oh no! I think he's right. I think me and Dave did a show, and then about a year later, me and Lee.
No, it was
Yeah.
well. You came on Musty
It was
Audio. You came on my old podcast well before.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I
You
know.
are right.
I
You
know.
are right. Anyway,
Yeah.
my point is, even before I went to the States, and I think Lee will vouch for this,
Mhm.
is we realize that something feels different. It doesn't just feel different, it is different. But when you actually witness it as well, and we did, we did a fucking, which I never thought we'd do. We walked around a haunted prison
That's crazy. Man.
that Dave had organized, and I'm like, we're gonna get shit. This is gonna be bullshit. I'm thinking this.
I can't wait for us to get our that stuff out. Like,
Yeah,
genuinely.
I'm like thinking this is absolute crap. Like, but I love Dave, and Dave's fucking paid for this shit. He's taking us out to this shit, and he's gonna show us some ghosts. And I'm like, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna get a bit spooked out.
I don't believe in ghosts. And well, it was,
What was okay? You
I
don't
don't I
believe
don't
in ghosts,
sorry,
but
I
what do
don't
you
know.
make? What was that?
No, that's it. That's it. No, I don't believe people can carry on in the same way as I don't believe caterpillars can choose to stay caterpillars. You know,
I agree.
they
I don't believe in ghosts either. I don't.
yeah.
I used to. I used to.
What we got though, without going too much into it, to spaffle over our own content later,
Which
we
comes
got
out
like
of Halloween.
context specific answers from spirit boxes. We had we captured like you know the Connect camera thing, yeah.
Yeah.
We captured entities like human shaped entities on those. Like it was the most like what we saw in that prison is fucking wilder than anything I've ever seen on any of the ghost hunting programs.
I
I
see
promise.
what we felt
Promise I'm
as
not
well.
overselling this.
No,
Like
I believe you. I mean,
wild.
I grew up watching all the shows. It's just that
Mhm.
I agree with you. I don't think it's people, mainly
No, I
because
don't.
what hit me one night is I was looking up just a really quick story. I was sitting at a gas station and I was looking over at this window on this old barn that they turned into like a furniture store. And I thought to myself, when most people do look at that stuff at night, I wish somebody would step in there. You know, a little ghost would peek out and wave at me and dip away, and I'd know. You know, I'd know it was there. And it never does. And then I thought to myself, well, why doesn't it? There's people out there that are chatty Cathys. You can't get them to shut up ever. Why is there not one ghost, not a single one, who's standing in Times Square using its energy and saying, hey, I'm a ghost, it's real, there's afterlife? There's not one.
Yeah.
Not one. And I said, it ain't people then. I'm
Mhm.
done believing that it's people, because there would be one that would tell. Art Bell would be ringing the block, screaming and yelling that it's ghosts, man, everywhere. And
I fucking would. If I
know.
died, I'd be like,
yeah,
listen, bitch, I'm dead. Don't fuck that guy.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that works too. But I'm just saying, I agree. I think it's more demonic. I don't know if aliens are tied into that or not. But I do think that the ghosts would be more demonic. Yeah.
Can I ask you the question
Ollie,
right now?
you'd be
Yeah.
stood behind your own mother behind a potter's wheel, recreating the ghost moment.
I would love to get you and Dave behind the Potter's wheel for like a promo poster.
Ask away, Ollie. Ask away.
Are you willing? Are you not? Are you willing to put all that aside, everything that you have thought might be ufology, and think that it might be demonic and something different to what your probably grandfathers, grandparents have spoken about for such a long time?
Yeah, my dad too. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm just open to whatever it ends up being.
No, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, how much are you there? How much your beliefs? Is it a 50-50, or is it like it could be 10% of what they said?
You mean as far as like it being demonic or extraterrestrial?
No, yeah.
Okay, I follow what you're saying. So where am I leaning most on it?
Because we lean on this subject so much right now,
Sure.
and channels, they think they know everything. They don't. I don't think anybody that speaks about this subject knows anything.
I mean, nobody has proof. That's for sure. Yeah.
No offense, mate. You know nothing. I know nothing.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
fucking Joe Rogan, who has so many people speaking about his subject, knows absolutely nothing about it.
We're all in best guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
guessing.
for sure. For sure. Well, yeah, I guess that's what I mean
Would
by
it
there's no
make
evidence, right? It's all
more
guesses.
sense to
Yeah.
say your elders know more about it than you, and maybe the old school philosophy of this subject is right, and us little modern motherfuckers were wrong.
So you're taking that the elders' view would be a more spiritual take on the topic, where we're looking more nuts and bolts.
I'm just saying, we're thinking that just because it flies It's technology that we don't understand. We look at the eyes and we think that's alien. You see so many conversations when it comes to people talking about demons. You've seen Alistair Crowley when it is it who's the alien, Lee? Is it Morph?
Um,
Lamb.
Lamb.
Have you seen Alistair Crowley Lamb?
Yeah, I've seen the photo of it. What he drew, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my question to you is, how quickly can you go back on everything that you've thought you believe and go back to basically old school?
Extremely
You can
quickly.
go
Yeah.
because if you go back, you need to go to church. If you go back,
I mean, that's what Tom DeLonge is saying he's doing. I mean, that's what a lot of these guys are starting to say, that, you know, they believe in
but
God
if
more
you
than
go
ever. Yeah.
back, and I don't go to fucking church, but if this is what, because we mix these words up a lot, but if you're gonna be fucking Johnny Big Bollocks and be the serious guy in this field, and you're gonna be deadly, and this is me being deadly serious now. If you genuinely believe that because we speak about this a lot, we always, I say we always, but I've said it a lot. Lee said it a lot on the channel. I don't know what you say, Ice Cream. I've heard other channels say it because we've heard it, but nobody's really been serious on it. We've been serious on it. We've said stuff about the demon stuff. I don't go to fucking church. Lee certainly doesn't go to church, and if he does, then God help that
I was in a
church.
church today, motherfucker.
I mean, look, I grew up Catholic.
How many people
you know?
did you fuck at that wedding?
He's got a body count. No, I mean,
No,
I get where
I'm
you're
just kidding.
going. No, you're okay. I get where you're going. I mean, I grew
No,
up
but what I'm
Catholic.
saying
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
if this is a religious thing and we should be worried, then the UFO channels that are speaking it out should practice what they preach. Maybe I should fucking go to church.
I mean,
That's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting idea that it could be demonic. I mean, I don't know what a demon needs a spaceship for to fly around, though. I mean, I think of a demon as more
Maybe
of
it's
like
not a spaceship. How do we know what demons fucking
what they
are?
look like. Yeah,
Or
I mean,
what
sure.
they need, or what they
Yeah.
need to move through this. Maybe they need something to protect themselves from God.
I think it can be.
I mean, that's
demonic and
interesting. Yeah.
interdimensional. That's the thing. I don't think demons necessarily have to be religious either. I mean, I find I'm not religious in a like selecting a denomination sense. I mean, I'm Christian, but I don't know if that's right. I believe in some sort of higher power. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But as far as the interdimensional thing and demonic thing goes, it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be religious to be demons, because that could just be our best word for it. If like we've all played Doom, yeah, we've all played Doom. Yeah, you know, Doom is like a like a hell dimension essentially that they open up. So if you had a alternate dimension which was essentially full of fucking malevolent, horrible things, for all intents and purposes, that's a hell dimension in the way we perceive hell. So it's that to me, when I say demons, it could be either. It could be like as in like a, because I don't actually think are demons in the Bible at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they? I know we have fallen angels, but I don't do is that in what we think of as
Oh, I see what
like
you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no,
I,
the Bible's so contradictory in so many ways, though. I mean, you know, it can. They say that Satan can, you know, bring himself forward as an angel of light. So I mean, it's like I think Chiller was talking about that on your guys' show. So I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of ways. The Bible's an interesting one. I mean, like I said, I grew up Catholic, but I don't practice Catholicism at all. There's too many man-made rules, and you can't eat meat, stuff like this. I don't think God cares about that.
Hmm.
I think it's more about just being a good person at the end of the day, and caring about your other people. And I think it really just boils down to that. But I mean, if it does end up being demonic, I'm okay with flipping back to that, mainly because I'm okay with flip-flopping, Ollie. Because at the end of the day, I just want the truth of the matter. And when I started into this topic and started to learn things and look through it all, I've been hurt before with a narrow mind. And I think a lot of people come into this topic with a narrow mind. And when I got hurt with a narrow mind, I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing narrow-minded anymore. And I think that's what's most important for keeping a good perspective on this topic, is when you are presented with new evidence, that you are able to accept the new evidence and move forward. I think that's a mark of somebody who really wants to get to the truth versus just whatever that they want to make it, which doesn't get us anywhere.
I couldn't have said it much better myself. I think the idea that we have to go down the route of like, this has to be aliens, or this has to be, at that point, on a UFO channel, you are no better than like some like an evangelical Christian on some like Sunday live stream, quoting the Bible, because no matter what is put in front of you, you will fall back on these like pre-ingrained beliefs. And that's all these UFO channels and people do. That they've just, has to be space aliens, has to be people from Zeta Reticuli that came and now and again cut a cow up, or snatch a person and steal some cum off them. It doesn't have to be.
We're over an hour in. We're good with that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. And I won't lie as well. I think the subject is more fun as well if you let your mind play around with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just don't have anything like concrete enough. I mean, the more for me right now where I'm leaning is the more that I've looked at AI and what's possible with AI and the future of artificial intelligence and what they're kind of predicting we're going to get. I mean, they say in 2 or 3 years, it could be 3,000 times, Chat GPT could be more smart than a human. At some point in time, what does that look like 20 or 30 years from now? Does AI actually crack gravity? And then at that point, does it crack it for us? Because they know that it's learning physics right now. It's learning our old physics on its own. When is it going to be able to create that? And then do they make us time machines? Is this actually really time machines? And they're people that are coming back and looking at and studying us, that it is ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very possible. When I started to look more at AI, guys, it really rocked my head. I went, wait a second. It's so plausible that that's something that could be happening, that we can manipulate time that way. It really changed me in the last month or so.
So I think like that, the show that I showed you that we're doing Sunday, which is the Peru thing, like so Lee and Dave were really into the Peru thing with the Peru aliens, and I was like not into it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck me, this is probably more true than we think. They have this.
I'm convinced that the Peru alien thing. Sorry, I shouldn't say convinced because I've got no evidence for it.
No, it's minors, Lee.
No, I think I personally believe that the Peru alien thing was. If there's going to be a Project Bluebeam thing, yeah, you're going to need to
test.
No, it's not. It's not a test. You're going to need shit to release, and you're going to need shit done and in the can. Where better to do it? Where better to do it in the middle of the fucking jungle, and you could just have it there waiting and ready to use. Look at the videos that came out of China during that incident. There and ready to use, ready for the next crisis.
Yeah, I mean the Peru alien thing is. I keep seeing more
Peru
videos.
Alien thing makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm sorry, but I was like fucking. I was like Lee and Dave argued with me over this. I'm like, this is bullshit. Look at it. This is fucking. This it's a jetpacker, and it's like
Shut up, make the thumbnail, Ollie.
it's,
Like Nick, what are your thoughts? I mean, are you starting to see, like I'm starting to see more and more of these reports, and more people are getting injured now, and there's more videos. What's your take on this? I mean, is it
Are we talking
jetpacks
about
or what?
Peru?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
talking about Peru specifically? Oh man,
yeah.
bloody hell. So the only footage I saw was the guy on the ground, moaning. He was doing this like little drama, little thing. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. It's just more drama to the ufology story. It's adding more stories for this year. I'm
Oh,
really skeptical.
more, it's more salt and
If there
pepper,
were
but
if there were
it doesn't
aliens
have to be
about,
interesting.
yeah, but where's the where's the proof? Where's the proof of it?
I don't get the whole fucking like you've seen videos of people being genuinely distressed though. You are seeing that and spoilers alert, our Sunday show we're showing like Peru people, which you may have already seen, with like shotguns hanging around with people, and they are talking about w- this thing that is not human. So I don't know. Like we spoke about this a while back, and I think we spoke about this way before we even like. I don't think it was even before the congressional stuff. That if they wanted to do a Project Bluebeam, the best place to test that would be a very sparse population, like a population that is not going to really matter. And this little village seems to be the perfect test. Now, I looked at that originally and I was like, this is absolute bollocks. But now when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, what is this? Is this a test? Because but we're not seeing any of the usual faces. There's nobody. There's not the Jaimes. We've not got the Greers. We've not got. There's no usual faces behind this. The usual suspects. There's nothing.
Well, no one's
We
really
have
even commenting on it though either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is why. That is why we will report on this on Alien Addicts, because nobody's reporting on this.
Well, I guess
that
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I mean, it's the same idea with the Nazca mummies. It was like pulling teeth to get a lot of these guys to even comment on it too. I mean, I don't think that they're real aliens personally, but I still think it's interesting that it's been these giant kind of topics or stories that should be picked up more by ufology and other people that have channels.
Yeah, and I would agree.
They're ignoring it mostly completely. Yeah,
it looks fucking crazy.
It's because they want to keep it to themselves. If the established people in ufology don't like the idea of their toy being taken away from them. So if like for instance, if we get disclosure tomorrow, absolutely everything we do doesn't make sense anymore because it becomes news. So whereas we're the ones on YouTube talking about aliens, we won't be the ones talking about aliens. Joe Rogan will be talking about aliens on every show he does. CNN will be talking about aliens. So at that point, the Cambians in the world, the Goofons of the world, the third phases of Moon, the whatever, whoever it is, they don't matter anymore because it's not a niche subject anymore. It's just more news. They might as well be talking about geopolitics or anything. And I don't think they like that. I don't think they like the idea of their toy being taken off them.
Do you think, Lee, that everyone would really move over to those platforms though for the real information, or do you still think the conspiracy theory minds that are out there would still say, nah, I want to go get maybe the other opinion on really where they're from than what CNN's telling us? I mean, how do you think that plays out?
I think it would show the lack of knowledge of most of these people. Because right now what they have is because it's a field without without academics essentially talking about it. Um, I think there is again. I don't consider myself that. I consider myself a cooking commentator. I think it's interesting, so I'm just going to talk about it. I have no like. You might as well listen to some guy in your local pub talk about UFOs and talk to me. I just happen to do it on YouTube in front of a camera. But I think the good thing about pseudoscience is that it allows people that know nothing about something to pretend they know something. And as soon as you get genuinely intelligent people talking about that, I've had it before. I've spoke to people where I think I know my shit about something, and then I've spoke to somebody that's actually smart, that's genuinely smart, and not like a borderline idiot like I am. And I've gone, oh no, I'm a baby compared to you. Like I know absolutely nothing, and I should probably just listen to you. And I
But
think that's what would happen.
But what about someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson? I mean, if disclosure were to happen, I think media would turn to him to help talk about this more. And I don't think he knows very much about the subject. I mean, how do you
I think
count on someone like
he's
that?
an actor.
Do you?
Yeah, I would rather get my science from Mike deGrasse Tyson than Neil deGrasse Tyson. I apologize to anyone that's heard me do that joke before, but I fucking do it every time.
But I feel like, I mean, you make a good point. I mean, Joe Rogan, he would probably have a separate day of the week, maybe even just to go over all the real news that we're getting. But I mean, I feel like the media would turn to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, people know him. He's popular. People trust him. I don't know how they get these people up to speed, you know, or does it matter? I mean, are we just going to only kind of, you know, I guess this brings me to my next kind of thought process with all of this. I mean, do they just move away from it? Is disclosure really the process of kind of like California falling off the US? I mean, all of old ufology kind of breaks off the continent and floats away, and disclosure brings us this new area, kind of like what they've done with UAP and UFO. Like they're trying to move on. I mean, do you feel like that would be what would happen? We would just move into this new era and just full amnesia? Anybody can take
I think
that too, yeah.
arrogance. I think arrogance would probably help because what you'd end up with is you would end up with I know I've said normie twice now. I don't usually use it because it's a stupid thing to call people, but it's the best way to. But it's the best and easiest one. Where you'd have normies going, well, of course there's aliens. Everyone knows there's aliens. You know, it's like I've said, maybe God. I mean, this was back when Rich used to come on Alien Addict. I said then that within the next few years, we will be conspiracy theorists for not believing in aliens. And I can really see that happening now. I can see that the beginning of that change starting to happen.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, when we look forward, I know we have like the Schumer amendment, you know, Leader Schumer. We got the Leader Schumer amendment coming out. I mean, that was bad enough, but you know, we have this.
It was that Rich's impression. Leader Schumer?
Leader Schumer. Dude, it's so funny. Rich is hilarious. But you know, we have that amendment coming, and I guess this is kind of like a forward moving thought process here. The congressional hearing. Grush, I mean, he's kind of, if they get another hearing and maybe they can.
I fucking love Grush.
I know you do. But if they can.
No, but so, Lee, I'm not.
I think you got a Grush on him.
You got a crush on Grush.
I've got a bit of Grush.
The Grush crush.
Do you, I think you and Dave, I don't know. I actually don't know because I do a lot of the Grush shows. Like on a Friday, and we don't speak much on a Sunday about Grush. But Lee, Grush, you, where are you with him?
I think he's doing his job.
But do you like him?
I think he's fucking weird. I think he comes across odd. I mean, I enjoyed the long form interview we did, you know, that sort of long form, I should say, like the hour-long sort of documentary we did with the podcast. I thought that was quite cool. I don't look. I think this is all part of like some sort of fucking machine that's like rolling this sort of disclosure thing out. How true it is or not, I've no idea.
I mean,
See, Ice Cream, how cool is this? We have one show with two people, three with Conspiracy Dave, CIA Dave, should I say, that run the show, and that we do not speak about this. You know, we speak about we speak about it. Like, we will have conversations, me, Lee, and Dave, behind closed doors.
yeah.
But right there, you just saw. So I'm like, you heard what I said about Grush last night. Lee has no idea what I said about Grush last night because he's not even watched last night's show.
No, I never watch your shows. I recommend no one else does.
You see, my shows are terrible. Bastard.
Hey, I'm on that show sometimes. Come on
Don't
now.
watch our show tomorrow.
No,
So-
yeah, go ahead, Lee.
But,
or
but
Ali,
this is why I think this format is so good, and I'll plug our own show here because
yeah.
I hadn't noticed.
Mealy and Dave, we've got other people that come in like you and Nick, Stu, Goo from back in the day. We're all about different opinions, but even the hosts of the channel have different opinions of each other. Like,
Yeah, but that's interesting though. It's always interesting when you have
Mealy and Dave
conflicting
don't
ideas.
agree
Yeah.
all the time on stuff, but we've said what we should do with this channel is keep it natural. So if we don't agree on something, we just don't agree. We don't fucking do the whole thing. Okay, should we just for this show? Should we find a happy medium? No, let's let the show go fucking manic, and we just have an argument because that's how it should be. If you don't agree with somebody that you're speaking to in person, like you're going to like, you've known your best friend for years, okay, but you have a controversial subject with this guy or girl. It should be natural. You shouldn't be able. You shouldn't have to fucking. Why? Why am I that drunk that this is horrible? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just something in the chat caught my eye. Carry on, Ollie.
What
Ah.
caught your eye? Is it Moody?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I love Moody.
He,
If Moody saying anything bad about me, you can fuck off.
he happened to mention that you might be slurring, but it's okay, Ollie. I've informed the chat that you're not slurring. You're
did
having
you-
a stroke.
Right? Did you inform the chat I've been to my mum and dad's? They'll understand.
I think you just did.
Well, here's the thing. I got two more things that I want to really ask you. We're usually an hour and a half. I mean, we can go longer if you guys are feeling it, but even if you're not feeling it, I definitely want to get two more topics in here. I know, Lee, you kind of mentioned, we talked about the start, Roswell, of course, but Ali, Nick, I mean, do you guys feel that there's any older events besides Roswell that we think will end up coming back to the forefront for a topic like a Rendlesham or anything else? And Lee, if you have another one, feel free to chime in. But do you feel anything we're going to get new evidence or a new or an old topic is going to come back up?
You've got a good shout with Rendlesham.
Yeah, I was going to say Rendlesham's pretty good. I was going to.
Absolutely.
The only way I'm going to look for evidence is for me to go into the National Archive. I've spoken to Graham Randallson, who wrote a book about Foo Fighters. He's gone into the National Archive and he's given me some information to get some like FOIA requests and all that. I think that's probably the best bet for an independent researcher to go in and actually look into the archive. Anybody can do it. You just have to sign up. It's quite a straightforward process. And I quite like to go down that route, the real investigation sort of side of it, to bring up evidence. If any sort of evidence, really. If you check out the National Archive, it is fucking massive. It's huge. And there's a lot of documents that are still waiting to be surfaced.
Nick, have you
And yeah,
seen anything that's surfaced though after that event?
well, Foo Fighters.
No, from Rendlesham.
Um, not that I'm aware of. I mean, Rendlesham's quite big. It's like the British Roswell, isn't it? So
Yeah.
nothing's really beaten that since, in my opinion.
Mm.
There's been
I'm
like a
just on
few
about the
UFO
time period here.
Yeah,
time
interesting thing
period.
about that is I only found out the other day that there was soldiers that were present for the Rendlesham thing that actually came out after the fact and were saying, no, like this is absolute bullshit. It was the lighthouse. And you only ever hear about the people that thought it was a UFO. You never hear about the other people that were there at the time that were like, no, this is not a fucking spaceship.
Have you listened to the tapes at all?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's great. I mean,
it's great,
it's
isn't it?
like
Yeah, it's really good.
sci-fi. It's
It's
100%
we should do
sci-fi.
a show on it. It's like it is definitely 100%.
Yeah,
we do
I
a show.
love Rendlesham. Yeah, it's great.
We do a show on that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good subject.
I should
but
come over to
yeah.
yours and we should drive down.
Ooh.
Yes,
If
Mhm.
only I was in the UK. Come with you.
come over.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, maybe at some point. Well, let's see. I've been to Wales once. I spent a couple days there, but it's been a long time. That was in like 2004.
Why do all you Americans go to Wales? I don't get it.
I don't know. I went on this like student ambassador trip. It's called like People
What
with
is
People. and-
Wales got?
They got the Roman baths were there, I think, if I remember right. I was 14 at the time. I stayed with a family that made macaroni and cheese with fish in it, and it was incredible. Super good food.
That's weird.
It was weird, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Fish-based macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, but you think it's gross, but when you ate it, it was amazing. But I guess how are you guys feeling? I mean, we're hour and a half in. I mean,
I'll keep going. I don't mind.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just because this probably will take us closer to 2 hours at this point. This question.
Why don't you invite Rich on?
Because he's doing a show right now.
Yeah, he's doing a show.
Oh, is he? Is he?
Mhm.
Rich, we love you.
We do
Slightly.
love you, Rich. 100%.
Slightly love you. Look, you're a little bit of a bitch.
Oh God, Ollie. Well, here's the
But-
thing. On that note,
I'm gonna do a flip flop thing. Yeah. I'm joking. Go
I
carry
know
on.
it's all in good fun.
Ollie
all in
is
good
like
fun.
one drink away from going, I'm telling you right now,
Now,
that motherfucker is
this
not
Rich,
real.
that Rich is not real.
But how about this?
No, Owen.
In our lifetime, guys, in our lifetime, do we learn the truth?
No.
No.
Yes. And you die.
This movie's got a payoff, but we
When
don't
you
learn the
die,
truth.
you learn the truth.
I
Yeah,
think
he
we
said
learn the truth when we
lifetime.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think?
Well, a couple of scenarios. One, documents come out, prove there's aliens, there's a spaceship. Great, that's all you want. Or Project Bluebeam.
Nick,
Those
hold
fakes
back a
are
little
fake.
bit for next week's show.
Mate, we can't
Oh
even
yeah,
get
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
We can't
You're
even
on
get
next week.
Epstein's client list. Can't even get the client list. We're not going to learn about the. We're not going to learn
We've
the
asked
truth
you for
about
it,
the
Nick. We've
UFOs.
asked you for Epstein's client list.
No, I'm just saying we like that's if that doesn't come out, like you said, and the JFK stuff doesn't come out, but the UFO stuff does, then we should really check ourselves on the validity of the UFO stuff. Because the people that
Sorry, Lee.
the people
Sorry,
that are going to give us, the people that are going to give us the UFO stuff are the same people that we don't trust about everything else.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, we have to play
was
this
gonna
game of
say-
where we choose, what we choose to believe from the person. It is a mix up. We don't trust the government, but we need them to tell us. That's so weird. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting, guys. Sorry.
No,
the
you're good.
connection's really bad here, man. You're all going blurry and all that is. But I was going to ask this one question for you: who benefits out of everything this year with the Congress hearings and all the malarkey going on with ufology? Who is benefiting out of this? It's definitely not the public, because what are they going to get out of it? Whoever's really playing in charge of this. I mean, you can call it a psyop if you wanted to.
Mhm.
But really, who's benefited?
Well, I
Josh?
think. Well, no, I mean, I think the public could benefit just as an attached part of disclosure coming out, truth and evidence coming out. But I think the people like Ryan Graves trying to start his own, nonprofit or what have you, he probably stands to benefit if they want to, put more money into the process. NASA, obviously, it's more funding. I mean, the funding is there. I mean, obviously the DoD could, if they want to start, or they have Arrow, because I mean, they get more funding there. So I think it's a funding thing. But I do think we can, because I think here's the thing, guys. I think they have to give us something. Even if they want the funding, like you can take Ryan Graves, you can take Fravor, you can take Grush, and you can put them up there, and you can make them look like fools if you want to, and don't say anything. But that's not going to get Congress to say, "Hey, this is legitimate, so now we want to fund you, Ryan." There has to be something there, something tangible to even get to the grift of it that those guys are looking at. You know what I mean?
I don't believe it's about money either, because I mean, if you're talking about if you're talking about putting money into like back engineering, like alien space ships and stuff like that, and they want more funding for that, that is the blackest of black projects.
Yeah.
That's got enough money. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't need like the 120 million or 500 million that they'll tick off to do it. That's got more than enough money pouring into it. I think the biggest thing, and again, for our own little plug, that you can go over and watch Alien Addict on Rockfin. And the reason you can go and watch Alien Addict on Rockfin is because of
And
this.
YouTube.
Yeah, let me finish, love. Like we can sit here and talk freely about aliens on YouTube as much as we fucking want. It's the shit that we can't talk about because you get community guideline strikes, because you get bans, because you get demonetized. That's the shit that we should be talking about, and we can't. So that's why I will always have a skeptical eye about all of this, is because we're allowed to talk about it in this age of censorship that we seem to be living in. And at that point, you have to wonder, is this all busy work? Is it busy work to keep? Because if the if you think about the Wild West days of YouTube, where people like us were all researching like different topics, and there was there was a real like anti-government hint to all of that sort of stuff. And it was the weird thing back then was, as well, especially around the Zeitgeist time, it was a very left-wing movement. The conspiracy theorist anti-government thing was a left-wing thing. And all of a sudden, and I don't even know when it flicked, but it switched to conspiracy theorist, and it became a right-wing conspiracy. And I can't help believe that's what all this is for. This is for it's again, I'm just gonna say the same thing I said before. It's busy work to stop us from talking about what are probably the important things right now.
Interesting. Ali, what's your take?
I get what Lee's saying there, but also, Lee, we are the little people. If you're talking about just us, as in the average Joe, we are just the little people. So what is going on behind the scenes with that, and how is that controlled? Because
it's controlled because I can't say why they're doing it.
Yeah,
because I'll affect this channel. That's what's controlling it.
Okay, without affecting this channel.
Ali, hold your thought for 1 second. I know this isn't typical host behavior, but I'm gonna pee so bad. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Cool. We're gonna burn the house down while you're gone.
We ain't good at this channel's gone.
He has just picked the worst time to disappear. That is trust I have never felt from another human being, and I will respect it.
Nick,
Absolutely. There's only 12 people watching. Yes, Ollie, how are you, mate? Holding on?
it's a new channel, mate. For 12 people watching live, that's great.
It's awesome.
The you like you just come into this kind of like in the whole live thing, coming on shows. Are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at his chat? I can't tell now.
I'm
like,
laughing at the chat. Moody Mongol keeps cracking me up.
Yeah, I know. His
I
comments are absolutely brilliant.
Obviously, I can't bring it up, but Moody Mongo's quote up.
is he talking about
to
how
quote
drunk I
Sesame
possibly
Street.
am? I'm not fucking drunk, Moody. I'm
To
just
quote
like,
to quote Sesame Street, one of these kids is not like the others. One of these kids is not the same.
Oh, boys,
does he mean me?
I don't know, full transparency. I've been holding that for like 30 minutes, so I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta
good
go.
work.
I've been trying. I've been looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, well,
The pro would have pissed themselves, but
next time I'll wear a diaper. I'll not wear a diaper next time. But no, hey, go ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead, Lee. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you were going to ask something before you had to go for a piss, I think.
I don't know. I guess. Let me see. I mean, go ahead. I'll think about what I was gonna go over.
Yeah. No, but back to just what I was saying. I think the meat is on the bones of the things we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. That's where it is, and I think that's where even if you look at the laws that are being brought in the UK to limit like freedom of speech, it's a dangerous time. It's a dangerous time for this sort of stuff. It's it makes you wonder, like at what point, if things keep going the way they're going, do you get a knock at the door and go, that thing you said like 45 podcasts ago, would you like to clarify that with us, sir? That's genuinely, it worries me, to be perfectly honest, like, because I am fucked if that happens. I am straight to the fucking cells. But it's one of the reasons why I think this whole subject is, it's always going to feel to me like more of a game than a legitimate inquiry into a legitimate subject, because we can talk about it and nobody's attacking it. There's no suppression on the YouTube thing at all. And the funny thing is, all you need to do is go on Twitter and look at the or X, sorry, and look at how like conspiracy theory is being fucking demonized at the minute. And like it or not, like talking about UFOs falls under the banner of conspiracy theory, but that doesn't seem to be under the crosshairs.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously all sorts of stuff that people are talking about that's really serious stuff too. I mean, I don't want to mention too much of it because you never know where it's gonna go. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we are a budding channel here, so we're gonna be out of the game before we even get out the damn door. But I mean, then who do we look for? I mean, who do we look to? I mean, maybe even outside of channels, like who do we trust? Who do we run from at this point?
I think there's certain people out there that I enjoy listening to. It's not cool to say it. They say it right now. I think the way Russell Brand's been going after, I think he's definitely a voice to still listen to, and but to take more notice of right now than ever. I don't believe Rogan is controlled opposition or any of those sort of things. I think I've listened to Joe Rogan now far too long to all of a sudden just think he's a CIA asset. I think there's genuine people out there, and like I personally, again, not to go too too far off topic of like UFOs, I think there's rules to this. I think there's rules of engagement that seems to happen. I think there's some sort of karmatic, if that's the right word,
Lee,
karmatic law. Yep.
we spoke about this a while back with Joe Rogan because I met you being and I liked Joe Rogan, but you've been like a avid listener for a long time. You listen to I would say you listen to a lot more shows than I've ever listened to.
The only reason I'm sat here doing this podcast now is because I started listening to Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Have you ever thought that Joe Rogan might be if this is a conspiracy? Have you ever has it ever crossed your mind that Joe Rogan might be in on it?
I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. We're talking about fucking spacemen. um,
right.
but I do believe there's a. I think the internet got away because I mean I'm a big believer that there is again staying within the walls of what we can talk about. I think there is a separate like shadow religion / cult that have infiltrated parts of government heavily on all levels in most countries. I think there is evidence for it. I think this, you can go back to the um, Bohemian Grove stuff that Alex Jones did fucking ages ago. There is some meat to that. There's something there. And it seems to be at least in our language of things we know of, it seems to be deeply based in some sort of ancient like satanic religion. I mean, when you've got the leaders of the world like fucking worshiping an owl and sacrificing effigies, that's fucked.
It's
That's
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
crazy.
The owl's an odd thing.
Yeah, yes, Ollie. Yes, I agree. The owl is odd. um, see, when it comes to the people like Rogan and stuff, I think there are rules of engagement, and I think like this is what I was going to say before, and I think there's some sort of karmatic law to it, where in the same way as, let's say people thought if they didn't do something a couple of years ago, they wouldn't even be able to go outside and go into places and stuff and buy
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the people that decided not to do said thing ended up being fine. I think you have to buy into it. I think there is this control structure. You have to give permission for them to have control over you. I don't believe people like Alex Jones, people like Joe Rogan, Russell Brand have given permission for these people to have control over them. And so the only thing that's then left with is to try and destroy the reputations of these people. Tried it with Rogan with the ivermectin thing, and I think that was such an important turning point for all these people, is because it proved that there was a certain point you can get to where you reach escape velocity. And it doesn't matter how much the system comes after you, because people love you enough to do it. Love you enough to keep you around. I think that's massively important, and that's why I don't think these people are sort of in on it.
Yeah, I think it would be
around that.
hard, especially with Rogan as a good example. I mean, he'd be hard to craft a new narrative for at this point. I mean, how many days and days of content does he have? I mean, we know his stance. You know, I think Rogan obviously believes now, and I think lately he's taken this more of a, I don't know, maybe it's drone stance. He's always kind of rode the fence, but that UFO that's on the sign behind him, I think that's the tell all that he's still on side of thinking that there's something there. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's hard to craft a narrative for someone who's so established at this point. I
Mhm.
still think Rogan's trustworthy. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely think he's trustworthy. Rogan, I do think at the end
Tricky
of the day,
surname though, isn't it?
yeah, yes, it is. Yeah. But I do think, despite everything he has with his podcast, he's one of us.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's the way
Yeah.
he come across. I mean, whether that's by design, I don't know.
I think
really,
not to turn this into a Joe Rogan Appreciation Society, I think the more important thing is that even with $200 million in the bank from his Spotify deal, he still remained the same person. That's fucking incredible. You give me $200 million, I'm a twat tomorrow. You know?
When I spoke to Graham Hancock, he mentioned he went to Joe Rogan's house and had a smoke with him and all that. And Graham said to me specifically, said he's such a genuine, nice person, like genuine heart to heart person, is haven't got like a bad fault with his body. And that's coming from Graham. So, but he seems genuine, I like the conversations that he has. He's so open, you don't get people like him, especially on Spotify, the views he gets, he gets 13 million views.
Something like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
He's beaten everybody by
fucking
miles.
mental.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, he's still the biggest show in the world whilst being on Spotify. He was getting before he moved to Spotify, he was getting 100 million views an episode.
Really, that much?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucked. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think even if you had to pay for Spotify to get to him, I don't think you'd see those numbers dip very much. Rogan, especially people who listen to him on the daily, like that's almost an addiction kind of feeling to him. People aren't just gonna let him go. They would pay $5-10 to be able to
I would.
keep that going. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe this like one of 7 people in the world would choose Amazon Music instead of Spotify, and I'd start using Spotify instead of Amazon Music if I had to, if Rogan was behind a paywall. In fact, to be perfectly honest, and it's the only show really I do this for, I would probably do it if he was to set up his own like Alex Jones service. I'd probably chuck £10 a month to continue to listen to Joe Rogan.
That's the bit that I don't get that I do not understand though, because he's gone to Spotify.
You and me both.
Spotify from YouTube being the biggest fucking platform in the world when it comes to media, and he's gone to Spotify.
Because
Fair
of
enough, they paid him a
because of what we said.
shit load of fucking money, but that gap, what, like that little bit of like, what is it about YouTube that won't let that go? That well, it doesn't matter because this guy's gonna fucking make a load of money. Where's that little bit of like, this guy's fucking dangerous. We can't fucking have this guy spitting this shit because why is Joe Rogan wrong for this platform? Why? That's the question.
Because Google's an evil corporation.
No, but why?
Is that not?
It doesn't matter. It's a fucking moneymaker. He's a moneymaker. Which evil corporation doesn't want to make money?
Disney have set fire to their entire company for ideologic reasons.
I agree there. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Star Wars is fucked.
There's loads. Like all of the go broke stuff has been companies setting fire to themselves.
So do you think that's all it's because of, or could there be another reason?
I think it has to be. There has to be another reason. Otherwise, shareholders would be angry. I mean, shareholders obviously are angry, but they would be calling the shots.
I think that'll
Because
change though.
If I was YouTube, I would be like, we need to keep hold of this guy. this Joe Rogan guy, we need to keep hold of him. He's kind of like, it's a big thing with our platform.
Yeah, but how?
Yeah,
But there's not really a way to like keep him, you know?
You've got these people talking about this. These people are saying is that. These people say he's fucking making us fucking money. Oh yeah, let's keep him. Keep him.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same
It
time, I mean,
makes
some of
no
these
sense.
companies, yeah, well, I mean, some of these companies probably, so many people in the company probably just don't like him. I mean, I'm sure that there were problems, and some people will choose their own personal beliefs over money, believe it or not, even large sums of money, because a lot of those people that are at the higher ups, those guys are massively paid already, and they're not
Matt,
going
you've
anywhere.
worked
They
in
can,
sales. Me and you have spoke offline. You've worked
Yeah.
in sales without saying too much, but you've worked in sales. You know things.
yeah, for sure.
Joe's the thing. I mean, he's
He is,
for
but
YouTube. I would say he would possibly sit if YouTube had 5 fucking fingers. He'd be the fucking thumb.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of like when you look at
What a
platforms
quote.
like Twitch, though, they let a lot of some of these content creators that are very big go away because these higher ups, I think they feel that they're bigger. The platform is bigger than the person, and they can always slot somebody in Joe Rogan's space. Who knows where Sean Ryan goes in the next 2 or 3 years? Who knows? You know?
See, the Sean Ryan thing. I
Sean
find
Ryan's
interesting.
great. He can't interview like Joe Rogan. I'm sorry, he can't.
Oh, I agree with
Sean
you.
Ryan's,
Yeah.
Sean Ryan's great. He can't interview like Joe Rogan.
Right, but it's kind of like what the record industry did when they realized that everybody couldn't get a Michael Jackson. You know, they realized, you know, we can't just live off of 3 artists only, you know, that we don't get them every year. We have to sign 80, 100, 200 or more artists to make up that money. They could feel it that it's that way. They feel, well, we'll fill the pipeline and we'll get our money some other place because they don't like his beliefs. They don't like the way he
But
talks.
why take that guy out from YouTube? That's the question. That guy,
Because they don't like him. And they think they can make the money somewhere else too. So they don't feel like they're really losing it.
Mm.
I think that's possible for sure. I mean,
I think they lost Rogan when they took his episodes down.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't forget, like he spoke so much about having fuck you money, and that's it. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, yeah. And I still believe I don't believe he will re-sign his Spotify deal.
You think he'll go on his own?
Yes,
Make his own site?
Yeah.
I don't know why
And
he doesn't. Yeah.
But I think that well he can't now. But before that, don't get me wrong. I'm sure before the Spotify deal, Joe Rogan was fine. He was okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But the Joe Rogan like corporation that it's become now has so much money. Like he can set up tomorrow. He can set his own streaming service up. He could go to like he could set himself up and use Rumble to stream if he wanted to do something like that. And overnight he could turn Rumble into something. He has that power now. I think that's what the Spotify move was for. The Spotify move was to bring that type of money in that would it sorts him, it sorts his children, it sorts his children's children out. You know, it's a huge sum of money. And I'm interested to see where he goes because what I've noticed he does now is when you look at his position on things is very middle of the road. But he's clever in the people he gets on because I think he chooses people that come on that say what he would like to say, but he gets to just be like,
absolutely.
I'm just a guy asking questions, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's why if anyone that saw Sam Tripoli on his podcast recently, like especially the I think Tripoli pretty well predicted the predicament that seems to be going down right now.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Sam hasn't been on Rogan for a long time, right? He's
no, he's done he's been on twice on his own this year.
Oh, has he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not even this year, but I feel like there was a break because when he went to Rumble and started his own show, I feel like there was a kind of a distancing with him and Rogan. Maybe I'm missing something, but
He filled in for Eddie Bravo on the Fight Companion maybe 5 shows ago, something like that, 5, 6
Okay.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting one because he predicted it's the best way to put it. He predicted that the next current thing would be a race war, and it was. I think he's pretty close to what appears to be going on right now.
Yeah, I hope not, man. I'm more scared
Mm.
of having something like that go on in the country even more than nuclear weapons, to be honest, man.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think it's just as destructive
Yeah.
all over the world, and I think it's something where you can't send a missile like an Iron Dome and knock it out of the sky. It's going to be loose, and what do you do at that point?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's scary. But we're
Yeah.
here at I guess we'll end on the scary note.
Yeah.
We're here at 2 hours. Hey, Lee, it's great to meet you, man, obviously, and I appreciate
Yeah,
you
same here, mate.
I appreciate you staying the whole time and giving up your sleep. I'm honored. I'm
No,
humbled. I
don't be silly.
appreciate it. Obviously, Ali, you've been tremendously helpful, man, having you on the shows. I mean, we've seen the subs come over and people come over in the chat, and Rich has done the same thing. So much help and love for a new channel, and just some random guy sitting in a room somewhere and with his own ideas, and I really, really appreciate it. I know Steve French does too. He's not here. He's on holiday. He said he's big time. He doesn't need us, but yeah, I mean, it's been a lot. And of course, Nick, you've been very, very nice. We really look forward to your content that you're doing. And we also look forward to, like we talked about behind the scenes yesterday, having you come on next Saturday.
Yeah,
so
sweet.
we want to, really give you the floor, and if you're comfortable, and talk about the UFO and the Nazi link. Because I'm going to be honest, that's a part of it that I just don't know. I haven't took a lot of time into that side.
It's an interesting.
I'm
Right.
extremely interested in it. I haven't seen a lot of people take a look at that topic. To have you as a guest, we're obviously honored. There'll be great content. I can't believe anybody would want to miss that. But yeah, that'll be next week, Saturday. We'll do this obviously same time, 5:15 for you guys, in the UK. Helps you get a little bit of extra sleep. Doesn't keep you up all night. But before we go, don't miss out on these channels. If you guys are here and if you're watching the VOD back, if you don't know Alien Addict, if you don't know Cosmic Twilight, you're really slipping up. Go to their channels, like, share, subscribe, show them the love the way they've showed terrestrial material. We really, really appreciate that. And at the end here, I'll give you guys the floor. Do you have anything you guys want to plug?
You should probably
Ollie,
I don't
I'd
know.
like to plug Ollie.
You gonna plug me? I'm gonna plug Lee.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us on, and yeah, come watch Alien Addict, come watch Nick's stuff. Other than that, I've got nothing.
Yeah, we've got a show that is now every Thursday we go on Rockfin, which is a brand new. Basically, what you're watching now, if you remember YouTube back in the day when it was fucking boiled eggs on toast, as in it would fucking hang off the sides, but it was fucking delicious with a bit of salt. That is what fucking Rockfin is. Rockfin is an absolute off the cuff channel that we can basically Lee could literally get his dick out in the chat. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't honestly, it wouldn't matter. And the chat on our channel can talk about what they want. So we have a channel on Rockfin that we can kind of talk. We can kind of talk about UFOs.
Ollie, just shut up. Basically, if you enjoyed the end of this show, then on Rockfin we tend to dip into stuff that would get us banned from YouTube. That's what Ollie's trying to say in a few short words.
And the chat
instead of all of them.
But the chat can say whatever they like. It's great. I've seen some really weird comments in that chat.
Yeah.
You have me looking tonight.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It gets incredible, no doubt about it. So check out their Rockfin too. Subscribe. It's a lot of fun. You kind of get the wild west over there. And then obviously, I don't want to forget everybody in chat. I know we do this more of like a podcast style, so we don't do a whole lot of chat engagement. But at the end, I like to at least say, hey, thank you, Jessica, Obviously, Moody Mungle, you guys have been super active in chat. Rich, Sapphire, I'm gonna miss people's names, I'm sure, since I've started as man. Everybody, Brookers, Donovan. If you were here, we really appreciate you, and we want to keep the shows rolling. And don't forget, next week we got Nick. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I think Logan Paul is fighting Dylan Dennis in your guys' country. So we'll see how that ends up turning out.
Also,
All right. Go ahead.
Can I just add?
Absolutely.
In the UK, next year we're going to get Nick Pope and the Hidden Underbelly. They are going to be fighting the corner for the UFO disclosure in the UK. We're going to get Hidden Underbelly in the Houses of Parliament.
Unlike tonight, where you have Oliver fighting the English language.
Yeah, but you're gonna get Hidden Underbelly with Nick Pope fighting the corner in the UK, which is going to be great. So if you want some whistleblowers, we're gonna get that.
I'm hoping so.
In the UK, it's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be beautiful.
We're all waiting for Rich Cambion. That's all. That's what we all want, really.
Oh, the boxing match.
I'm waiting for Matt to get goof on Rich Cambion and Rich and an Alien Addict duo with a bit of Lou reviews. That would be right. You should do that and not tell us. Just invite us all in the same chat and just go boom.
I'm sure everybody would love me for that. I'm sure.
I would have great respect.
It would be cool, genuinely.
It would. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be to do a first day of the new year type thing?
I would love it. I would hope
call
that
it New Year, New UFO.
Listen, if we do that, it might be best to do it here because this is kind of neutral ground. This is neutral territory.
Exactly, mate.
So
it'll absolutely.
I mean, we're lovers here at Terrestrial Material. We're not warriors here. Even though we like MMA, we just want to hear good conversation. That's why we have you guys on. Nick, good conversation. Ali Lee. That's all I want. That's all I want, man.
Yeah, everybody.
I would love to.
Do it.
We'll try. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Rich is too much of a pussy, but yeah, you will.
Oh, come on. We love Rich. Have a great night, guys.
I love Rich. I'm just saying he's a pussy.